So, Christina, once we heard that these two men were going to meet, of course, we went back to the meeting between President Putin and Donald Trump. It was certainly, these meetings are always historic, but this one was for the history books, to sort of overuse a phrase. How will the encounter between Putin and Biden be different from the one that happened between Putin and Trump in Helsinki 3 years ago?
Good morning, Anne-Marie. Well, first of all, it won't be in Helsinki, and that's by design. It was one of the cities that was being considered at one point, and I'm told the ghosts of that press conference were just too strong to risk some sort of haunting coming back again. The second thing is we won't be seeing a joint press conference with the two leaders. The two leaders are going to have separate press conferences with their own press corps and the international press corps after this meeting. The other thing is there's a longer time frame for this meeting. If you look at President Biden's schedule today, it has it written out, and it says, there will be a bilateral meeting between the two presidents, and then there will be a bilateral meeting that will continue between the two presidents. And the next paragraph is, and then there will be a bilateral meeting. So they're giving themselves a lot of time, a lot of space. President Biden, it's Biden time. He likes to talk. He likes to work things out face to face. And that's one of the reasons that they wanted to have this meeting. The two leaders, he wanted to get in the room with his Russian counterpart and hash some of these issues out. The previous guest you had did a great job of analyzing the issues, and there are a lot of issues to discuss. Crimea, cybercrime, prisoners. The big thing that they're going to talk about, though, is big geopolitical issues, right? Arms control. That is one place where there is some agreement. There was a very hard time getting these long-standing Cold War international treaties reestablished, renewed under the Trump administration. And part of the reason for that is the Trump administration really wanted to bring China into the fold, right? China as a rising nuclear power. When these agreements were signed, China wasn't really on the map as far as geopolitical threats. Now they are. So the Trump administration wanted to make these bilateral talks, trilateral talks. Meanwhile, China had no desire to participate and never made any indication that they were going to show up to the table. So these things started to expire, like NAFTA and Open Skies, and they were allowed to lapse. However, there is some progress, right? At the beginning of this administration, Russia and the U.S. got New START renewed right at the end of the wire. So there's hope that they can come to some agreement on some of these larger, overarching geopolitical issues while simultaneously staring each other down and saying, this is a red line for us and this is a red line for us. So we'll have to see what those red lines are.
And I'm wondering if you can jog my memory a little, because from what we were learning about this meeting is, the two men will meet along with an aide initially, and then a larger contingent of aides and advisors and so on will then join them, and they will continue the conversation. With President Trump, wasn't the issue, one of the issues that concerned many was that they were there, I think, only with interpreters, and then the notes were ripped up or something along those lines?
Something like that. It was a much smaller group. There was no support staff in the room. And one of the reasons you want support staff in the room is so that you have some sort of record. You also want people who are better subject matter experts on each individual issue, right? As the president, it's a little bit like a journalist, right? We know a little bit about a lot of stuff, but when we want to know a lot about one thing, we go find an expert and we talk to them. And it's the same that a president in a meeting, I'm not guessing that President Biden can talk to someone on the granular issues of these treaties and how they get done, and the inner workings of which ballistic missile they want to ban. So at that point, he's going to want to turn to his guy who does ballistic missile stuff. That's a very technical term, by the way. And have him advise him and say, this is what we're going to do and this is what we're going to talk about. So you want the support staff not only there as kind of a living public record of the occurrence of what's happened, but you also want them in the room to backstop you, to check you, to make sure what you're saying is accurate. And in case you have a question, in case there's something you don't have that depth of knowledge on, you can turn to, hopefully, your very informed staff and say, like I was saying, go ahead and take this one, and then you can move on with the issues. Otherwise, it's a very unstructured and unsuccessful, it can be a very unsuccessful meeting. And you could argue either way, but I would argue that's what we saw during the last bilateral between these two presidents, or between the President of the United States and Russia. I apologize.
So we know that part of the reason that the White House decided not to have a joint press conference is because they wanted to avoid, in part, all the analysis that was going to happen with the two men standing side by side, not just the comparison between Donald Trump and Putin, but just everything else. So that's going to happen anyways, right? We're going to overanalyze everything that we end up seeing, even if we don't get a chance to see them standing side by side. But I think they're going to be doing sort of a handshake photo op type of thing. You've seen a few of these, a number of these. How stage managed is this interaction likely going to be? Do you know what I mean? I know that they're standing there sort of being cordial and shaking hands, but that's not the real thing, right?
I mean, the protocol surrounding these events is often more difficult than actually agreeing to have the events or the meeting itself. It's all those little tiny issues that you talked about that can sometimes crater these things. As simple as who's showing up first, who shakes hands, who stands here, who stands there. The other thing about it is you have support staff spending weeks and sometimes months setting this stuff up. And when you get there, it can all go immediately out the window. And that's something we saw in Alaska with the meetings between senior officials in the U.S. and senior Chinese officials. They had this whole protocol set up. The U.S. was supposed to speak for 5 minutes. The Chinese delegation was supposed to speak for 5 minutes. They were going to stare at each other, usher the media out, and that was going to be it. And then the Chinese ended up speaking for 15 minutes, and then the U.S. took the platform, and they started yelling back at the Chinese, and it erupted into, we're nerds. For us, that was diplomatic fireworks. For most people, it was like, a mildly entertaining board meeting. However, in diplomatic protocol world, these people who set up these meetings and make these agreements are having minor heart attacks because it's the little tiny things like that that can crater a much bigger geopolitical issue, right?